can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I wanted to take a moment to sit down and talk about the vanillas. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about the Ultimates #2, written by Denise Camp, with art by Juan Frigeri and color by Federico Bellini. I gotta admit, yeah, I've been kind of calling this book the vanillas, and you know, today is a special day because today the vanillas, and it only took getting to issue 2, thankfully, they are the vanillas no more. Well, if you're wondering why I've been calling the Ultimate Marvel Comics Universe version of the Avengers the Ultimates, why I've been calling them the vanillas is because this team has been, from its inception, from the moment we have learned anything about it, it has been painfully white. Like, when I say white, I mean
White, what the fuck?
The reason why I'm talking about this issue today is because we have a momentous occasion. As I mentioned earlier, the vanillas are the vanillas no longer. Sort of. So to set all this up, a new member of the Ultimates has been introduced this issue, a character who already exists in both the Earth 616 main Marvel continuity as well as being a part of the MCU, and it's none other than America Chavez. Yes, America Chavez has been brought into the continuity, and while they kind of play around with how, you know, they set up the reveal of this character being present, I gotta admit, I was quite happy that this wasn't just another white character. Like, it's pretty much all we have gotten thus far out of the entirety of the team of Ultimates thus far. Tony Stark, Captain America, Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, the Doctor Doom in this universe, which is Reed Richards. We've also got Thor and Sif. And while, yes, I know Black Panther is on the way, he has not joined officially yet in a issue. So yes, I am still going to criticize this team for being painfully white. However, I will say, not only did America Chavez get introduced in this issue, but she gets a little bit of respect put on her name, and even some hints and nods to some of the aspects of America Chavez's Earth 616 continuity kind of still technically being in place, you know, in this continuity, this new continuity that the maker has, you know, cultivated into what it is currently, and what Iron Man, or rather Iron Lad, Tony Stark, is trying to undo. The utopian parallel seems to be in play here, even though that was something that has kind of technically been retconned in Earth 616, so I guess it's fair game to play with it here. But the idea here is that America Chavez was somehow expelled from some cosmic place, and the utopian parallel is as good a place as any. However, when she was expelled, she fell into the clutches of Midas, a character who, if you are unfamiliar, is actually from Earth 616 continuity. This is not a new character, though this is a character who is new to this universe. But in Earth 616 continuity, he is a character who made his debut in the year 2000 in the Marvel Boy series, and as you might imagine, a guy being named Dr. Midas, you would probably not be surprised that his power was that everything he touches, whether it's organic or inorganic, turns to gold. And this is due to him having exposed himself to cosmic radiation for about roughly 5 years. Well, something very similar is going on here in the Ultimate Marvel Comics universe. Midas, in this particular instance, while he is not known as Dr. Midas in this situation, at least as far as I'm aware, but he is just a very similar character. He is wearing the original Mark I Iron Man armor that Tony Stark created, and he has turned it into gold, and he seems to possess whatever power he does possess because of, well, for one, this suit, but also because he has been exposing himself to the cosmic radiation that America Chavez puts off, and he has kept her prisoner so that he can maintain this and gain this power. And in the midst of, you know, America being held prisoner the way that she is, her cosmic radiation is being siphoned and sent off to various different places. Case in point, her cosmic radiation is literally fueling the entirety of the states of Virginia and Maryland. Their power grids are incredibly and 100% reliant upon the delivery of her cosmic radiation and energy. She is also, because of the nature of her costume, which is a the kind of tried and true trope of the Marvel Comics universe is unstable molecules. Well, in this case, she has a costume that's a little bit different than that. She has a costume that is self-repairing, and Midas has used this self-repairing feature of her costume in order to create cosmic radiation shielding clothing that is super lightweight and probably not much more heavier than wearing an average t-shirt and a pair of jeans. He's also been siphoning her blood to use it to cure every cancer known to man at this point, albeit he has tweaked the formula and made it so that if you took this cure, you'd have to take it for the rest of your life and at 10 racks a dose. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, America Chavez, a lot of respect is being put on her name, just showing just how powerful she is, like just in terms of what Midas is able to take away from her and what removing her from the situation of being his prisoner would do to thousands of Americans. It's a lot of circumstance being put on her at this, and it's very interesting because while I don't like characters being captured as the way that they're introduced, it is still something I think is pretty effective. And once again, while I have made it very plain that I'm not crazy about how vanilla this team has been, it is nice to know that they at least got a little jelly bean sized glob of some caramel or some chocolate chip cookie dough or some whatever. The point is that, okay, yeah, we got that. That's fine now. I will say, criticisms of that aside, I do enjoy the book, which is kind of why I have this weird relationship with it. Like, and I don't want anyone to get it twisted because it probably came off this way when I talked about it in the previous video. I don't dislike Denise Camp as a writer. I think he's a fantastic writer. I would say go read his Bloodshot if you want any further proof of that. I thought that his Children of the Vault was pretty damn good. I don't really like the way it ended, but I mean, all in all, I thought it was a pretty fantastic book up until its end. And I don't even really blame the ending on him. That felt more like Marvel editorial than it did himself. But all of that aside, I really like what Denise Camp is doing, because one of the things that's a hallmark of his writing is he often takes the time to give you a little commentary on things. This was very prevalent in his Bloodshot Unleashed series, and where some of the commentary kind of leaned more towards how the United States government and its militaries take advantage of its soldiers in situations. If you look at Children of the Vault, it was a lot of commentary about how corporations take advantage of Black and brown communities and siphon their resources and take things that would be valuable to them, but then sell it to the highest bidder, and in a lot of ways exploit those communities and sell back the things that they export to them. And there's a lot of that, and there's no different here. In this issue, there's a lot of talk about what even America is. Like, it starts off at the very beginning when the little girl sees Captain America and says, what does that A on his head stand for? Which to us, it seems like such an easy thing to answer. But yeah, when you think about it, when the concept of America is not as you probably would imagine it would be, and I want to make sure I'm incredibly clear here, we're not talking about the United States of America in this universe. It's not the United States of America anymore in this universe. The way that the maker has carefully laid out this universe, this is the North American Union and regional subsidiaries. But even still, the commentary does apply to our actual IRL, United States of America. What does it mean? What is the concept of America? And does it mean what patriots often try to believe that it means? Like, what makes America so different from the rest of North America itself, which includes the United States and Canada? What makes it different from Central America or South America? What is it that's so special about America that we always prop up America as an idea when there's other countries and continents that are either a part of an America or are actually called America as well? Like, what is the difference? And also, what do the ideals of America actually mean to anyone these days compared to what they used to be? And also, at the same time, addressing the things that America has perpetrated in its history, both real and fictitious in the case of this comic. What do you do with all that? Does that still make your country great? Does it mean that your country is great with an asterisk? Or does it mean that your country is somehow lesser for it? There's a lot of commentary on that, and in a way that is delivered where I feel like both Midas and Captain America are right, but about very different things. Midas is correct in the sense that, yes, well, everyone thinks this country is so great, but look at all the terrible things this country has done. And while we kind of see through the lens of Captain America, who in this issue is viewing 75 some odd years worth of American history in the span of 9 days, we see him looking at because we have to remember this is a Captain America who literally just came out of the ice. He has been MIA, very similar to Captain America's original origins in the 616 and in the original Ultimate Marvel Comics universe. We are seeing a Captain America who is, and once again, this isn't new territory for Cap. The only difference is that, yes, we're seeing a Captain America relive those moments in history that he has missed. It's different this time because the previous times the Maker wasn't involved. The Maker has distorted events. So now Cap is witnessing American history for the first time that he missed out on that is probably worse than anything that you could imagine. And it's also showcasing the Kennedy assassination, the moon landing, the atomic bomb. It's also showcasing how mutants have been treated and mishandled. We also see that the Punisher and his mission statement has been turned into something terrible and something very much more akin to the MAGA extremist group, the Proud Boys. And we also see Midas bring up that slaves used to be sold on the White House lawn. So yes, all of these things kind of come together to create this perfect stew of terrible that America has been privy to. And Captain America has to answer the question, is it all still worth it? And I feel like while he doesn't necessarily directly answer Midas, and while he doesn't necessarily directly answer Tony Stark, he does give an answer to America Chavez to a question she didn't ask. But the question is asked of him, and his response is what we immediately see, his response to America Chavez. And I feel like that was a very clever way for Denise to give the answer of Captain America. Basically saying that, yes, terrible things have happened to you. Injustices happen to you. And while those injustices have happened, we're not going to ignore those, but we're going to try and make things better going forward. And I feel like that is the answer that people want to hear when they bring up the whole idea that America has a terrible history. We're not saying that, oh, America's bad because it has a terrible history and we should just completely do away with the country, just blow everything up, this place sucks, just nuke the site from orbit. I mean, technically you probably should, because I mean, we are pretty terrible. However, the response people want to hear is not necessarily that. We're not expecting the world to be completely rewritten in, overnight, but we do, or at least I would personally like to hear someone say, hey, this country sucks. It has sucked, but we're gonna try and make it better tomorrow than it is today or yesterday. Once again, that's technically, without any action behind it, they're basically empty platitudes, but those things coming from a Captain America, yeah, I'm almost more willing to be like, yeah, we might be able to make this, like, man, yes, we can, it's a very yes, we can energy going on here. But yeah, once again, I like the comic. I think it's a great comic. I feel like it's just that one thing. It's like, you know what it is? I talked about asterisks earlier. That's what I feel like when I see a lot of people like literally just glazing this comic up, just 2 issues in. I've been seeing like multiple publications across the internet, multiple reviewers across the internet, just literally just meat glazing this comic. I always feel like the one thing they leave out is the thing that I am most bothered by, and it's that, yeah, this is the whitest team ever fielded in the history of comics, well, up until now. And I mean, I know it's gonna be, there's gonna be more change to it, and once again, Denise has said he's going to fix that problem, or that it is gonna be something that's addressed over the course of the next few issues. But still, it's gonna be an asterisk. It's gonna be amazing to me with an asterisk. The vanilla's number 2, the jelly bean sized glob, chocolate chip cookie dough is a great comic, but it's really white. You guessed it, obligatory channel outro time. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. Clicking that subscribe button and tapping that notification bell ensures that you get more videos just like this one, and you don't miss any of my other content that I drop throughout the week, plus my live streams every Thursday and Saturday. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click that like button, keep it plus ultra, and sound off in the comments.